everybody. I'm Tina Garrison.
And I'm Ben Garrison.
Are you there?
I guess I need to have a stronger voice. I'm Ben Garrison.
And it's episode 16 of Cartoon Commentary. And we're glad that you have watched all our episodes, and we can't believe it's 16 already. So we've got a long ways to go. So let's get going here.
25 more days until the election.
25 more days till the election, and it's the final countdown, and the gloves are off. And our first cartoon is Ben's cartoon on the hurricane. And you want to take this away, Ben?
Yeah, well, we caught some flack, and I'll let Tina talk about the flack that we caught. But I've been reading a lot about weather manipulation, and people will immediately call me a conspiracy theorist, sure. But chemtrails have been proven to exist after decades of people accusing you of being a conspiracy theorist if you even mentioned that. And it'd probably be the same way with this. We know that they have hundreds of weather patents, the government, and they have plasma weapons and lasers and microwaves and generators and cloud seeding and jumping chemicals into clouds to help grow hurricanes or steer them. So I believe that they if they can do it, they are doing it. And even LBJ said many, many years ago that he who controls the weather controls the people. And so that's still an ongoing thing. And this cartoon also ties into Agenda 30, where their plan is to drive everybody out of rural areas into the cities, the smart cities, where they can be controlled. And so how are they going to do that? Well, flooding them out is one way.
And, there's just, I sound like Hillary Clinton there,
You know? Don't start the We don't say And we don't say the word like. Don't say like. Don't say that.
Anyways, what I was going to say is there's a lot of evidence out there that proves weather modification is real. All you have to do is do your research, open your eyes, and don't believe everything your TV tells you, or Joe Biden when he gets out there and says, oh, weather modification isn't real. They lied about everything
That's a clue
else.
Right there
it is.
Real.
Yes. And they lied to you about COVID. They lied to you about the science. So why do you expect them to tell the truth about anything, actually? So it's real. And the
government always lies, and the operatives who control the government lies as well. So you've got lies encased in lies and lies. It's a whole
bunch of lies.
Yes, a whole bunch of lies.
And
it's a fun house of lies. And mirrors that you try to figure out what's what. Yeah. It's hard to figure it out, but we do know one thing: they're lying.
Right. And I was just going to say to the people that wrote us and called us conspiracy theorists, well, you know what they say about conspiracy theories? They're just a spoiler alert 6 months early. So if you have doubts, do your research, and you'll find out the truth. Exactly.
Look at all the stuff Alex Jones talked about for decades, and he was called a conspiracy theorist. Now it all came true.
Yeah, and it's a lot of scary stuff. So moving on to even more scary stuff is FEMA. This is another Ben's cartoon tying into the hurricane, and FEMA is just a $1 trillion government disaster. And I'll let Ben take it away here.
Yeah, it's a huge. The government is either hugely incompetent, or they're traitors to the American people for their incompetence. So they're incompetents and traitors. I mean, it's one or the other, or maybe a combination.
Both.
But I mean, this whole thing has been a fiasco. For Biden was out on the beach for a couple days when the hurricane struck,
and people were.
Kamala was in Hollywood,
and he was
drinking with her celebrities,
fundraising, and this guy
This guy says that there's no money left.
And he was out buying men's clothes and eating sushi while people were drowning.
Yeah, I forgot about it. He was out at a Georgetown boutique buying high-end clothing.
Right. So they don't care about you, and they want you to be able, to die, basically. Let's face it. And they're destroying the American people and the country on purpose so they can rebuild it into their Marxist paradise.
Yes, the ultimate goal is to destroy the country and implement communism, the old Cloward and Piven ultimate finish line here.
And that's what they're...
But the thing I was going to say about this is I just read something about Kamala yesterday was shown as a photo shoot loading a truck with supplies for the victims, not a truck, it was a helicopter. But the helicopter never took off and never delivered any of it. It was just a giant Photoshop to make Kamala look good.
She's a phony.
Yeah, she's a complete phony. So I'm hoping American people catch on to this. Everything about her is a phony. She can't even talk without having somebody... Biden is the same way, but Kamala is even worse. Kamala can't blame dementia. I guess you could blame alcoholism. I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question. Who's worse, Kamala or Biden? Right now, I'm thinking she's worse than Biden.
Well, Biden says that she's been in on all the decisions, and he's kind of stabbing her in the back.
I remember her interview just the other day where Kamala was asked, would you change anything from the last 3.5 years from the Biden administration? And she said, nothing comes to mind. Nothing she would change. So a vote for, if you hated Biden, why would you vote for Kamala? Because she's exactly the exact same stuff, no matter how many slogans, thin slogans like way forward and turning the page and all that bullshit.
Yeah, you turn the page and it's the same thing.
You turn the page and it's blank. So, moving on, we're going to go to another
Democrat head cases.
Head Caes.
There's too many to draw in one cartoon.
But this was a really funny cartoon, and sometimes you have to just, take a moment and draw a funny cartoon and lighten up the...
Well, I admit this doesn't have a lot of substance, but it does have one thing that's part of satire, and that's ridicule. And so it's always fun to make fun of them. And that's what I'm doing.
And I think Tim Waltz gave you this idea because he called himself a knucklehead.
Yeah, I drew that sketch. I had my sketch pad during the debate, and I drew him as a knucklehead similar to this. But I didn't see how it could go anywhere. But I kept looking at the knucklehead, and I wanted to draw it. And then I said, well, why don't we just show the Democrats different kinds of heads? There's all kinds of head. There are dunderheads, and there are hotheads, and there are... Matter of fact, I drew a sketch of De Niro. I couldn't fit it in here, but I showed him as a hothead.
But Kamala's the chucklehead because she always laughs so hard, ha ha ha, at inappropriate moments. And I like the way you always, every time you draw her, you're adding that $70,000 Tiffany gold necklace around her.
I made it even bigger this time.
Yeah, it keeps getting bigger every cartoon. And then, of course, it's the season for Halloween coming up, and there's Hillary with the bats in her belfry. She's definitely a pumpkin head.
Yeah, Hillary has she has kind of a squarish head, really. The key to a caricature is to figure out the basic shape. And Hillary is kind of a square, whereas Biden is he's very round at the top, and it goes to a point on his chin. So that's the basic shape for him. And
he's an airhead. Biden's the airhead. And you got AOC coming out of the swamp as a bonehead.
Yeah, I got Barack Obama as a pinhead. I wanted to draw him as a malevolent figure. Everybody thinks he's such a avuncular character. Everybody loves Obama, but I sure don't. And he did a lot of damage to the country, and I think he's still doing it behind the scenes. So I showed him as the pinhead from the movie Hellraiser, um, based on Clive Barker's book. But so that was that. I wanted to make him look more sinister. I see him as a more sinister character.
He looked pretty bad when he came out and made that recent speech.
It was insulting.
He was insulting Trump, and he looked really rough. I think he looked thin. He looked very, a lot of worry lines and gray
I almost
hair.
expected him to say to his brothers, I almost expected him to say, "You ain't black unless you vote for Kamala."
That's almost what it was.
Yeah.
He was scolding them. And
it's an insult because black people they don't want to elect somebody who's totally incompetent, and yet they're asked to vote for this.
Well, they pull out the old, you're sexist, you're this, you're that ism. Anytime you disagree, they pull out the old ism.
But it's an insult to black people to think that they can't see through the Democrats' identity politics, and I'm thinking a lot of them are going to either not vote or not vote for Kamala.
Yeah, and then last and most least.
Last but not least. Least.
Most least because he is the least, is Schiff.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this other
Schiff,
okay.
Schiff head.
Last and least.
Least is
I forgot. We didn't talk about him.
Yeah, Schiff. Good old Shifty Schiff. So Ben stuck that in because it was an obvious one. And he definitely is a shift head.
Yeah.
So, and that cartoon went pretty viral on X. So remember to always follow @GurGraphics on X. And join us, follow us, and get verified on X. Because it's totally worth it. And you'll unlock the doors. And right now they have a good promotion where you can get it like 50% off. So go to X, get verified, and follow GurGraphics. So that was my spiel.
Okay.
And now we're going to move on to the
last but not least.
Not least is
last and most.
We have the Butler PA rally, the return to Butler, which was very historic. It was a historic rally. I think they had 60,000 people show up. And Trump was joined by Elon Musk at the rally, and he had Elon speak. And Elon was so happy that he was jumping in the air. So take it away, Ben.
Yeah, Tina kept bugging me to draw a cartoon featuring Trump and Musk. I didn't want to do it, and I wasn't feeling that great that day. Besides,
I know you've been not feeling that.
But she was very enthused about the idea.
Because it's historic.
And so this really isn't an editorial cartoon per se. It's more of an illustration. I guess if it's an editorial cartoon, it does convey one thing, and that's the fighting spirit, which I wanted to get across. The Republicans unifying behind Trump and determined to fight against the lies of the Democrat and continue to go out on these rallies despite people taking pot shots at him.
And he returns to the scene where he was almost killed at the assassination attempt. And when he first mentioned returning to Butler, I was thinking, well, is he going to go back outdoors in that same exact spot? And sure enough, he did. That shows you the strength of character. And Trump.
It shows you the man has courage.
Courage and bravery to stand there and face down his enemies and show them that he's not going to give up.
He stood up and put his fist in the air under fire. I mean, this guy. I mean, most people would be groveling down there and afraid to stand up, and he got right back on his feet and put his fist in the air. I mean, this guy has some. They always make fun of his lack of character because he likes the women or whatever it is. But this really showed that when it comes down to it, this is the kind of man you want leading your country. That was an Andrew Jackson moment. Andrew Jackson had a guy pull two pistols on him, and fortunately both of them backfired or misfired. And what did Andrew Jackson do? He had a hickory cane and started beating the guy right on the spot. He didn't run away. He started beating on the guy. Trump would have done the same thing.
Yeah. So that we want to end with that. And we do have a poster. I'll put the link for a signed It's 18 by 24 poster size. Limited edition print is still on sale. 50% off. And if you would like one of those, you can just look below in the video description and click the link. But that's what we have for this week. And remember, we're going into the final countdown to the election. Everyone needs to get out there and vote and bring their family, because this is our last chance. So, get out there, vote, bring your friends, vote, and support President Trump as best you can. And you can support us with donations or purchase. And it's very well worth it.
Well, thank you for everybody who's donated and helped us out. I can't thank you enough. And
we couldn't have do this without you guys. So we really appreciate all the support from everybody. Just understand, and all the prayers too. Ben really appreciates the prayers for his health.
Yeah. And
hopefully by the end of the month we'll find out if he's cancer free. So keep praying, and thank you. And we'll see you next time for Cartoon Commentary. This is Tina saying bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Tina, and I want to thank you for watching our videos here on Rumble, and also for your support of me and Ben. And I want to remind you to make sure you subscribe, like, and follow our channel here, and also go to gurgraphics.com and sign up for our newsletter. That way you won't miss any future videos and you won't miss any cartoons. Heavens, you don't want to do that. So look at the description of the video. You'll find links. We also have a fundraiser on givesendgo for Ben to help him out. And we also have a link to our store. So remember, keep the faith. Enjoy the show and stay strong, because you know what? We're going to win in the end. Never forget that, and never surrender. Thank you, and see you next week for a brand new episode of Cartoon Commentary.